So as always, I'll ask for a visual, and they say it's like a hoarder. Imagine the house of a hoarder. That's what your cells look like when you can't deal, when you haven't dealt with what happened. And it could be so simple because shock starts from the moment we're born, trauma. And even a stern no or a slamming door means something. So we respond to life how we accept. So let's say I hear a loud noise, and it could just be a loud noise, but if it activates a fear of mine somewhere deep inside of my cells, I will respond to it not from a place of freedom, but from conditioning. And so it's like the hoarder's home with so much stuff packed into this body, because there's a part of you that says, I need to resolve it. So today the idea is, what if we could just let it go? Here, the tax people only look back 5 years, because I don't know, in Argentina, that's kind of the thing. So my husband, in fact, says, I'm like the tax man. We can't go back more than 5 years. If there's a claim or a fight about a certain thing, it's like we're just going to deal with the present moment. So imagine clearing up this cluttered home, this full of junk place, and now think of it as your body. Not that it's junk, but that all the experiences that you haven't been able to respond to in a balanced way or in a equal manner, even if you couldn't resolve it, but you could actually address it. So all the things that you couldn't address were stayed stuck in your body. And that would be if someone shouted at you, you didn't have the ability to stand up for yourself or say something, and then of course there's much worse. So think of all this information swimming around in your body. And then go even deeper on a cellular level. It's easier for us to understand shock and trauma from a physical accident, a car or an abuse or an accident or breaking a bone. But there are auditory, psychological, mental traumas. Silly traumas, they're saying, serious traumas. Okay. So imagine your body as one big chest of drawers. Each drawer still has stuff in it. Clutter. Okay, so we will use the chakra system, but you're invited to go deeper than the energetics. So last week we did the energetics, and now it's to the crown chakra and how my cells behave and reorganize and group. We are always connected to the divine, but is there any part where you believed as a young, even as a baby or a soul or a growing human being, where God didn't love you or God felt like he had abandoned you, or the higher concepts? So your cells will behave how you taught them to behave. If I am in fear of God, no amount of opening my energy centers will get into my cells. So we might have a very open chakra, yet the cells don't respond, don't activate, or I can't receive the blessings or see the images or receive the miracle. So now go into the cellular. Even if you don't know how to do it, we're not doing energetics, it's the biology. Imagine clearing it up from all the debris of unprocessed physical, emotional, mental, spiritual energy that is in the tissue. There we go. So a hoarder holds on to things because it might have some worth. I can't get rid of it because there's a lack mentality. So here, if we haven't dealt with it, we haven't squeezed out the energy, we haven't overcome it, there's still a part of us that feels that it, a bit like broken clothes, that you could sew it and it could work again. So the point of the clutter is not to be cluttered, but to resolve it. And imagine all the issues in this one chakra that haven't been resolved. It's probably the easiest one. So allow your guides, your energy, your consciousness So it's becoming aware that you couldn't, because of the timing or the age or the situation, resolve it, and it has stayed stuck. So by becoming aware of how that works. See if you can just bring some freedom into the cells, into the tissue. There we go. If we go back to the analogy of the house, imagine last week we cleaned the windows, which is great because more light can come in and you can look out or in. But then all of a sudden you become aware of what is there, or what was there, or how you behaved. Okay, shift it now. Okay. This is the easiest one. We're allowing your body to get used to it. So this is more conceptual, even though you might have felt slighted by God or abandoned or mistreated. Now, the third eye, imagine if you've seen an accident, seen horror stories, or seen things which are embedded in your cells. You might have forgotten, mentally forgotten, but they're there. So if someone were to hypnotize you and tell you a date and what was going on, you could recall it because it's in your bio memory. It's in your cellular memory. So imagine your third eye, your eyes on a cellular tissue. If you ever saw any injustice, even imagined it, your body doesn't know the difference between real and imaginary. It's as when you accept it, it's real. There we go. Doesn't matter if it happened or not. If it nearly happened, your cells still respond. Okay. Empty them out. Allow a gentle, compassionate outpouring of everything that you've been holding on to with the intention to clear up when you had the time, when you had the consciousness, when you were wise enough, healthy enough, awakened enough. So today would be that day. Just allow it to empty out, pour out. Okay. Throat. But remember, we're at the cellular level. So even the harsh words, what was stuck, what wasn't said, couldn't be said, what was heard. So now think of what is being held on to on a cellular level. Because it wasn't the right time, it was inappropriate, or you weren't aware. So a cell, when it feels that there's some kind of poison, the cell has consciousness, it will retreat from it. So trauma is like a poison, so it will retreat. And so our actions, or what we say or what we don't say, or in a physical, do we move towards something? One of the biggest issues with trauma is procrastination or fear or self-doubt or disconnection from self. There we go. So allow the cells to relax. Perfect. Now the heart. Imagine how your cells would react to abandonment or to rejection. If there's any history there. And so if you haven't dealt with it, you might have a contrary position of toughening up. So like a callus covering over a pain. So imagine the cells and the tissues letting go of this clutter of the pain that wasn't dealt with. Imagine your physical heart. Very often your cells would totally respond when they say you can actually die from a broken heart. It's the response of the cells, how they organize, how they respond. And any part of you that is isolated, bring it back home into balance. We're always so proud of being survivors. It's good to like it, but we shouldn't be put in that situation in the first place. Or if you have a high threshold to pain, that is just numbness in the cellular level. It's afraid to be alive. It's a survival mechanism, so it's not a bad thing. But is it what your soul would choose? Is that freedom in the body? Is that living the dream? Okay, solar plexus. Lots to let go of there. Just open up the floodgates on a cellular level and imagine someone clearing out your cluttered space. You don't even have to choose if you still want it or not. Allow it to be cleared as much as possible to bring back balance, your true essence. And this one would be very much along the line of, I am feeling fear, but people around me seem fine. So I deny my own fear because I believe the general consensus. So I start to unhear my own instinct. Okay. Second chakra. These last two are the last three actually, but are the densest. So just imagine like you have this dark tar covering your cells and just this freedom, the truth of who you are is pushing through and just releasing what you didn't deal with can leave. We don't need to keep on hanging on to it, to the slights and the bitterness and the resistances. Even if there's guilt for something that you might have done, stays in the system, trauma-based something. If you caused an accident, caused someone some upset. Allow your body to let go at a cellular level. When your consciousness understands that it's been hanging on to try and resolve it, and now you've gone, that was way long time ago, let go, release. And so your body, so your DNA is like an antenna, and the clearer the signal, the easier. So it's like a battery. The more gunk we have in the body, gunk, not necessarily physical uh, food gunk, but emotional, mental trauma, it slows the battery down. And I'm not talking about excessive energy like running around, but just expansive energy, healing energy, vitality. Okay. Base chakra. in a full run through. Imagine a recalibration. If your system was triggered by shock, or you avoided things, or didn't even try certain things, or maybe pushed too hard because of trauma, just allow it to recalibrate, like a clearing through the whole system. And now imagine a brace position like trauma. You might clench your jaw, you might bundle up your fists, you might clench your buttocks, or look away. Any physical response as a memory to stress, to shock or trauma, as if it were a deep tissue massage. Let it pour out of your system. And there's no judgment here whether you are warranted the trauma, or if it wasn't big enough. I should be over it. Try not to get into it with your head. Just allow your body a natural reset position. Okay. Deep breath in and come on back.